All right, guys, I hope everybody has sort of shoveled their way out and is feeling a little bit better. If not, this video is for you. My name is Dr. Heather Moore, owner of Total Performance Physical Therapy. Tonight we're talking about back pain fixes when you shovel. So where I am in Pennsylvania, we had a massive snowstorm. That brings on lots of back pain. And unfortunately, what I hear quite often is it's not the first time. So somebody will come in and be like, well, I hurt my back again shoveling. So if this is occurring multiple times, it's definitely something that's an issue. It's not something that you should be ignoring. But I'm going to show you some things to kind of fix it, relieve it, and things you shouldn't be doing. So we do a video, if you look on our Total Performance Physical Therapy YouTube channel, we do have a video on how to shovel snow. So when this happens again, you're going to be able to properly shovel it. I promise you there will be one time where you go to shovel snow and you're not going to be able to get off the couch. So if your back is telling you that you need to address it. Don't ignore it. It's not going to recover each time like it did the last time. Most people I hear that come in here, unfortunately, are in a really bad way, and most often I hear is, every time I shoveled snow, it would just hurt, and then it would be fine the next day. There will be that one time where it isn't fine, and that may be a year, that may be, 10 times shoveling. I don't know when that's going to be. But if you're someone who gets back pain, if you get soreness after you shovel, super important to pay attention to it. So one of the first things that you need to really understand is if you have numbness or tingling in your feet, you heard a pop, you need to get that addressed immediately, okay? You need to see a doctor, you need to come in here. That needs to be treated. That needs to be addressed by a medical professional. Do not, I know you can, but I advise heavily against Googling it and trying to fix that type of pain at home. Generally, that means there's some sort of disc irritation that happened. Something occurred at the disc level. You need some professional help. So, very big caveat. It happens more often than not. People get shooting pains, burning, numbness, tingling all the way down their legs while they're shoveling, after they're shoveling. They hear a pop. They may not hear a pop. Either way, the big telltale sign is numbness or tingling or shooting pains all the way down your legs. Major red flag. Needs to get treated, needs to seek medical help. Most of the time, though, it is a pain that is stiffness, soreness. You're going to sit on the couch, you're not going to do anything, you're not going to move, you can't shovel anymore, but you're going to just kind of fake it till you make an Advil, whatever icy hot patch you got in the cupboard, and that's what you're going to throw on. And again, this is, most of the injuries, and I don't like to use injuries, but what we treat here is snowball, okay? It's things that have been occurring for a long time, and you ignored them and ignored them and ignored them because, oh, well, you shoveled snow last time, and then it got better, and you shoveled snow last time, and it got better. Every time it gets better, you're building up scar tissue, you're building up trigger points, you're building up knots, you're making it, you're not fixing anything, you're just causing your muscles to become more and more impaired, which is why every time you go out and shovel snow, it hurts. You wind up injuring yourself because you didn't address the problem. So one of the first things that I always tell people is if you hurt your back shoveling snow, do not lay on your back and do not do nothing, okay? It is really, really hard. I understand when you're sore and you don't want to move, it is important to move. It is usually a muscle injury. And again, I highly recommend if you wind up pulling something or whatever while you're shoveling, you get in to see a medical professional. But it usually is a muscle injury that needs to be worked out, that needs blood flow to help overcome the pain. And if you go and you sit down, I know in a day or two it's going to feel great, but really what you're doing is allowing scar tissue to build up. You're allowing this to happen the next time you shovel snow. So it's really super important that you understand that stopping your movement, taking Advil, throwing a hot pack on, and just laying there is one of the worst things you can do long term. Now short term, sure, I'm sure it feels great. But you're just setting yourself up for a long-term back injury that may or may not have anything to do with shoveling snow. You could be walking down the steps. You could go and lift, lift up even a gallon of milk and your back could go like that. So every time you don't treat it, you wind up increasing your likelihood that something really major is going to happen and something that you're not going to recover from is going to happen. So back pain fix number one when you're shoveling is get up and walk. all right? I don't care how much it hurts, all right? If it's so much pain you can't walk, you need to be in the ER. You need to be in here. You need to be seeking medical treatment, okay? I don't care if it's slow, all right? I don't care if you're holding onto the counter, but it's going to allow the blood flow to go to the area. It's going to allow that muscle to start to repair itself. Do not do anything strenuous. When I say don't lay down on your back, don't relax, don't, that just means don't do anything strenuous, all right? Most people just go in and sit on the couch and watch TV and are done. You want to limit the strenuous activity. So don't go back out and shovel, all right? But keep moving around. Keep walking. That's going to help the blood flow. The second thing that you're going to want to do is, if you're dealing with back pain from shoveling, is you're going to want to, it's counterintuitive, but you're going to want to gently twist. Okay? Most of what you shovel injuries occur from is a bending and a twisting. You wind up, wrenching some of your muscles. You want to make sure that you can gently twist. Again, this is just like the walking. It's going to get the blood flow back. You may only be twisting from here to here, okay, because it may hurt so much. You want to make sure, though, that each time you try and get a little further. You can do this in the hot shower, okay? I highly recommend doing this either, standing in a hot shower. If you have access to a hot tub, you can certainly do it in a hot tub. But allowing that warm water to facilitate some of that blood flow and just allow you to move nice and easy. Okay, then what you want to do is you want to just roll your shoulders. And I know people are like, oh, it's my back, it's not my shoulders. Everything's connected. Okay, that old song, the hip bone's connected to the knee bone, makes perfect sense. Okay, so you don't want to ignore the muscles up near the shoulders because eventually they trickle down to the back. All right, so you want to make sure that you are doing nice and easy shoulder rolls. Then what you want to do is you want to do kind of a knee to the chest. All right, so you want to bring it up. If you are able to walk while you're doing this, even better. All right, if you need to sit down, I try to, I would say avoid laying on your back. I don't really want you to have that complete inactive posture. If you need to sit down, you can do that, but it's much more effective, again, to get as much gentle movement as you can, just moving and lifting your knee up, okay? The next thing you want to do is you're going to want to do the figure 4 stretch. Now, some of you may not be able to do that, and this is okay. Some of you may. You want to try and cross your ankle over your knee. If you can't get your ankle up over your knee, again, there's already severe problems there that can really lead to surgery down the line. You want to get that addressed. Do not, if you're like this and you just cannot because it is so painful, there is some very large problems about ready to happen. Get that taken care of. So you may just be here, and this is where you may have to stay for a while. That's okay. If you're here and you're like, I don't feel too bad, you can then sit up nice and straight and hinge forward at your hips. Opening up that low back, opening up that hip area. Most people neglect looking at the hips and working on the hips after they have back pain from shoveling because it doesn't matter, they think. But again, hip bone's connected to the back. So you want to make sure that you are working on that hip too. This is a nice gentle stretch. You want to switch into the other side. You want to hold this about 30 seconds. All right, and you want to do this as many times as you can, especially if you wind up sitting. If you have to sit all day in an office job, first of all, you want to make sure you're getting up every 15 minutes. But while you're sitting, just cross your leg over like this, just to allow that back and that hip to open up. The final thing you want to do is you just want to do some trunk rotations, okay? So you just want to nice and easy. Now, when you are dealing with back pain from shoveling, this is not fun, all right? So your back circles may be here. This is where you start. Again, it's one of those things where you want to loosen up as much as you can and slowly get bigger, all right? Use your hips to get bigger. Don't just use your back. That's going to hurt, all right? But slowly rotate your hips around so that your back is actually moving, all right? Again, this is not just keeping your hips steady and rolling your back around. You're going to hurt yourself. It's going to hurt a lot, all right? This is more of a trunk rotation where you're using your hips to go around. And again, you start here. You start really small, and then you can make them bigger. All of these exercises are designed to be gentle ways to move your back. There's nothing that is designed to hurt anything. It's not going to feel great, especially if you just hurt it. But you want to make sure that you are moving as much as you possibly can. Nothing strenuous. You're going to re-injure it. You're going to make it worse if you wind up doing something strenuous. But the more gentle movement you are able to do, the healthier your back is going to become. If you or someone you know injured themselves shoveling and wants a free consultation with a doctor of physical therapy, all you have to do is call our office at 215-997-9898, and we'd be happy to get you in. Thanks and have a good night.